There we go. There we go. Alright, nothing on that side. Oh, and, and I did was it happened to be randomly on my feed, but I did see like some, which is funny because every once in a while like blue particle stuff appears on my feed is usually like the stuff like from the main like YouTube channel thing of blue particle, but this time like some blue particle channels did pop up, and which is funny that none of them are from America. I think there was some I'm not sure what country it is. It's definitely one where I did not know any of the writing from. One from Japan and one from Russia came up, and I was like, oh, look at that. And I was looking at some of their stuff they were doing, and I think the only difference between myself and them is like I think they did more dungeons. Yeah, one person did more dungeons, so I was like, oh, I was curious. I was like, I wonder what they're doing. And yeah, one person was doing dungeons, and of course, at least the Japanese one, I could understand what they were saying. But yeah, they were just like kind of like I think yeah they were doing dungeons as well. I was like, oh, that's what other people are kind of doing. They're more dungeon focused, while I'm just more like yapping and uh, commissions focused, or just like kind of like just looking around the world and whatnot. This was like this game has a lot of potential. That's why I wanted to do good, especially when the anniversary is coming up. Like it's right around the corner. Ooh, finally got this. But yeah, like they need to make the map more like the first map, like the Asterleads one. I was about to call it Emerald Hills from Sonic. Oh, and one thing I actually kind of recently figured out was Sonic's voice actor, like in the I think the cartoon and a few like the earlier like iterations of him talking was Arkle. I did not, and I think the that actor he was saying that when he goes to conventions and stuff, he's like, yeah, it's like probably like 50% of the people know me from like no Family Matters and all that kind of stuff, playing Arkle. The other group just knows me from I'm waiting until my people start moving around. Okay, now they're moving around. Yeah, the other 50 only knows him from his role in as Sonic. And until someone, I think it was like a weird, like a short that came up that had that conversation. I didn't know that until 2 days ago. So I was like, I learned something. I was like, oh, so I watched it and I didn't know. Honestly, I think there's probably a little bit of like the reason why some of the like actors are also like falling back on like voice roles because like yeah, you know, with a voice role, on like acting role where you have to like look the parts of like some roles like superhero roles that oh let me go and get like big and buff for this role and like destroy my body and all this kind of stuff. For a voice role, you just have to have the voice. So like a long time ago, there was like a stereotype, like, especially like in Japan, where like people like if you can like was it like pretty much like if you didn't look good is when you went to voice acting. But now like it's way different now. Like now there's voice actors and stuff that are just like themselves just essentially idols and stuff, right? Like there's even actors who also fall back on there's like famous actors, right? But as time went on, they're like for example, the Nanami voice actor. He's I think actor first, but now when people like talk about him is for his voice acting roles. or the guy who plays he plays many roles, but like Dazai from Bungo Stray Dogs, or Cessna from Gundam 00, like that guy. He's like from he's like a theater trope kind of person, right? It's like I mean, he did it when he was young, so like throughout his whole life he's just been doing acting and stuff. So he's like one of the ones where like he's like famous on all sides. He could sing, he could dance, he could like act and all this stuff. And there's almost like no bad rumors about him doing anything too stupid. Everyone just always just says, yeah, he's kind of crazy. As in like he's like what everyone's image of a true extrovert is what he is. And I think some of like the other like no like younger kind of female cast is like, yeah, him and like the old heads are like annoying as hell because they just loud. He's like, you already know when they're like all hanging out because you just hear like just a bunch of laughing like in one of the rooms and stuff like, oh yeah, he's here. He's like making them laugh and all that. So like, no, I mean that's a good rumor to have. Like, oh yeah, you're the fun guy to be around, and you don't do anything problematic. Yeah, like in Japan, there's some like voice actors that got in trouble because they were doing like they were moving like actors are moving in America, right? Having affairs and stuff like that. And you're like, and they, so some certain voice roles, like if people who like astute and they know like different voice roles, like on the Japanese side, they'll probably see it a little bit more often. Like, why did this voice actor get changed? Usually it's like either the person passed away or some like enough drama happened where the company got worried and they had to like remove them. But there's certain characters that it's hard to do that because their voice is so iconic with the character that like they know that if they did that right, it'll just be too jarring. There's also like other cases where like sometimes the voice actor changes because maybe like there's like a few where like I think Lupin's one of them where like Lupin's voice actor, he asked the company to have his voice like he's, oh yeah, if I pass away, right, I want this guy to voice Lupin because he was a comedian that always did like like impressions of Lupin in his like skits. He's like, no, that guy's good. You should have him do it. So yeah, every once in a while you have stuff like that, or like yeah, because like some of the like Frankie, I think he was like, you know what, I'm getting kind of sick and old, so I want to not sick and old, but like he was having some like health issues, and then he's like, you know what, I'm getting older too. I want like let's try to see if you could get like someone else like no have Frankie, and then while I'm still alive, for then you could kind of like ease people into it. I know the Luffy and I think Dragon Ball voice actresses. They're like, yeah, we did ask the company like, hey, can we get like another voice for the character? And the apparently the head is like, please don't do that, don't do that. Like, you guys are too iconic, and they're like, okay. And there's some people like some voice actors actually just quit, and they quit for a while, and like sometimes they quit just for like life reasons, but they do some of them do come back. And there's some people that like I think they probably come back because like the companies keep on asking, oh, can we use your voice from like this one other game because we're doing like maybe some kind of like other side game where like we need your character there. They're like, okay, I'll come back. And there's a few that did that. They came back just to voice stuff. Okay, so use my super right there. Yeah, in Japan it's like a little bit different. That's what like I think in America still the whole like VTubing stuff, right, is kind of like jarring to people. In Japan, I don't think that it's weird because like in Japan, I don't think people care about it as much. Like if they see like a VTuber doing something on like a show, let's say like a drama show, and they have a random VTuber there, I don't think they really care that much. Even if they dislike it, they're like, yeah, I don't have any strong opinions either way, right? And that was, I think, like the opposite of America until kind of recently, because I know they were like freaking out about that kind of stuff. And I honestly, I think the people that were freaking out and making a big deal of it were just like unpopular people. So I was like, okay. But at the same time, in Japan, before the great shift happened, like you could not like anything in Japan, like, and without the fear of being, oh, you're an otaku, right? That was like a super bad label to have in Japan at one point. So like, if you, and not just like anime or games or anything, you could just be like, oh, I like, I don't know, like car stuff, right? Like you like just like, no, I like, you know, fixing cars and all that stuff, right? They're like, oh, look at you, you fucking car otaku. You're like, what? So I can't have fucking hobbies? It was bad back then. Then I'm not sure when the great shift happened for them, but like that, and now a lot of people are coming out and like they're like unashamed and they're like, no, I like different animations and whatnot. And then I think even like one of the prime ministers like, yeah, right now one of our major exports is like anime and manga and stuff like that, right? We need to put like more focus on it. And I think was it the honestly, if they get a new prime minister, I think they need to put like more emphasis and actually give the like have it as a job enough for you could like no have a good life and all that. Because right now they do not get paid enough. Like the different animators and stuff, you just look at like the stuff they get paid, you're like, god damn, they get paid like maybe like a McDonald's employee, and you're making those like all the anime people like, oh yeah, this one cool scene made by a bunch of people who didn't sleep for like months. I mean, look at Chainsaw Man, like they even had it where like the guy was doing his little presentation, he saw the bags under his eyes. Yeah, they need to get paid a lot more for making all those good animations. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not sure when the gray shift happened over there because I remember I had a friend who was like in like as I was living in Japan as well, right? He was like talking about his like high school. So he was, you know, he went to a Japanese high school. He's like, man, I can't have any damn hobbies, right? You have like the most like innocuous hobby, and they'd be like, oh, you're fucking whatever that is, otaku. He's like, I think he was into like deep sea fishing. Like he really, like, I think his father was like, no, his grandfather was uh, like a fisherman. So like he just likes fishing, and then like sometimes like he'll go on the boat and he'll help with that. But like sometimes I mean, his grandfather really liked it to the point where like I think his they could have retired or he could have retired, but he kept on doing it. Cause like, no, I just love it. Right? I'm not doing it like I did it originally for just the money, but then as he got older, he's like, no, I fucking love doing this. And so like my friend, he's like, oh, he likes deep sea fishing kind of stuff, right? He's like, oh yeah, I mean, since I have the boat, we want to just go deep sea fishing or whatever, right? That's cool. And like that's what they did. But like he was telling his friends, like, oh yeah, I really like fishing. And he's like, yeah, I remember this one girl looking at me like, oh, you're a fucking fishing otaku. He's like, damn. So nothing, like can't have any cool stuff. And that was like that for a while. Then all of a sudden, like I'm not sure when, but it's changed for them as well. Where like then, but when it finally changed, right? It's almost like even in America, right? Like after the whole, you're only allowed to like Dragon Ball. Like after that, then now people are talking about they like the most niche shit, like niche series. Every once in a while, like I hit them with like a very niche comedy series. I like comedy stuff. Uh, like it's like almost like a LOL random kind of show where I like Hade no Chigu or call. I think if you write it in the manga stuff, it's like Hade Gu, right? And I thought that's a very niche series that no one knows. And I told someone that before, and they're like, yeah, I know that. Or Seto no Hanayome, like the Bride of Seto, like stuff like that, right? Then now people are like, no, that's like, they're like, yeah, I know that series. Like, and before that was like unthinkable. And I don't even know how I got into that series. I think it might have been back when it was not really like Blockbuster, but it's like the Japanese Blockbuster, like Tsutaya. I'm not sure if that even exists now. But I rented a movie there. I saw the cover. that's what I mean. That's how you find different series you like. Look at the cover and oh, the cover looks kind of good. The art looks kind of good. And sometimes something looks so wacky, you're like, I'll try it. And sometimes it's like no, it's not really good. Like, and other times you're like, oh wow, I found a good series. Like, I think I found Hellsing that way. I looked at one of the art. I was like, oh, there's some back in my edgy days. I'm like, oh yeah, this looks edgy as hell. And then there was like a few series, and I say that because like there's like a few series I got like I watched because I'm like, oh, and this was like closer to the end, right before I like really left from Japan to come to America. I think that's when I kind of like casually watched different things right back when I was in Japan, but at the same time, right, everyone hit their power level. But yeah, as time went on, no one cares about that stuff anymore. Even though some of these were like polling sites of different, I wouldn't even call them news outlets, but they're saying, oh yeah, these are what all the people hate. I'm like, so what do they want then? And it was like the dumbest shit, like, oh yeah, people want like people who just hang around and just like fight and drink beer. And I'm like, I think I always tell this story where like there was a guy that I know where I asked him like, what does he do for fun? And he's like, yeah, I drink. Like, yeah, and what else? He's like, yeah, I fight. It's like, so you're boring then. Like, he was like really offended. I'm like, no, you're just a fucking boring dude, man. Like, you don't have a personality. And your personality is, well, I mean, if you think that's your personality, it's pretty trash. Then he was like, no, getting upset. But that time I didn't like this dude in the first place, so it didn't really hurt me. But yeah, it's just like after that, it kind of opened my eyes where I'm like, there's quite a few people I know that are like that. Where like, you ask them, like, hey, what do you do for fun? And they just like drink beer, fight, smoke pot. I forgot, like there's like two other things. The general like stupid answers that people tell me, or like the other lie answer that people say, like, oh yeah, I like hiking. No, you don't. I've met some people like that. Oh, I like hiking. Like, no, you don't, bro. You just don't have a personality, so you just have to just say something like, I like hiking. I like reading. Motherfucker, like if someone could listen to you talk for a little bit, you already know that you don't read. Which means he's a great JJK fan, but you know, this man can't read. Like, what are you talking about? That's why, like, if you see that in someone's bio, for like, oh yeah, what do I do for fun? I read, I hike. You're like, do you though? But on the opposite hand, there have been some people like that I knew. Some people like, oh, I like hiking. This man was serious. It's like his hiking is like, no, like I hike for like at least 4 hours, and that's like 4 hours of the straight hiking. Getting to the hiking spot is like another 1 or 2 hours. So like it's a day, like a whole day event for this person. And it didn't help the person has no sense of direction and we got lost. I'm like, this motherfucker. I was like, he's like, oh, but no, like, oh, even though I don't have a great sense of direction, I know you're good with it, right? I'm like, no, I have an awful sense of direction, so we're just two lost people. It's a blind following the blind. And he's like, and it didn't help that at the time I had glasses and he had glasses, so you know. It was literally the blind following the blind. Yeah, not good. Oh yeah, I should probably check how much of this I did. I'm glad I checked. You know what? I think maybe over here. I'll start killing the captains over there. I know I did not ever really mess. Oh no, Storm Tempest Dragon or Tempest Ogre. I think I said Storm Tempest Ogre. Close enough. Okay, need to get past everyone here without done. Nah, I don't think it'd be worried about death or anything. Over here is what I want to attack. There. Yeah, so I always tell people, make sure you get some decent hobbies. A hobby that you could be like, it's good to have like, no, multiple hobbies, right? Enough where like you could be like, ones you could tell friends, right? Easy ones, like, like I like watching, like for me, I like watching movies. I used to like hiking until that, like when I actually hung out with people who really like hiking, and I was like, oh, okay, no, I'm just a casual compared to this guy. So then, I mean, this man also did like kind of like rock climbing stuff too. So he's like free fall or free form rock climbing, and like I lost him. I was like, where the fuck is this guy? They said, oh, up here, man, just climb up. And I started to climb, which actually this happened twice. So I'm actually surprised that I did this twice. I was beginning to climb, then I realized, oh, wait a minute, I'm not crazy. So I didn't climb. This also happened earlier, yeah, earlier. Because I had another friend who also likes hiking and stuff, and he did the same thing where he's like, he went up to this one wall, started climbing. All right, he just like Spider-Man, he climbed up there. I was like, so then I was starting to climb a little bit, right? And then the realization came like, I'm not crazy. So then I got down. This other guy's like, oh, well, you're not climbing to your friend? I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. So I went the long way and met him. He's like, oh, why didn't you climb? I was like, hey, bro, if I fell and died over there, I would have no one to blame but myself for being dumb. I ain't doing that. I didn't have the climbing shoes or nothing. I don't just like, you know, I'm not climbing that. Like, not gonna lie, if it was like a tree, I might have climbed it. But just a straight mountain where I just have to put my fingers in the divots and just kind of like climb my way up. Nah, that was not gonna happen. But yeah, sometimes you have to know your limits, right? Climbing ain't mine, so maybe I should make that thinking about it now. Right? No, no, I wouldn't do that. I was thinking about like, oh, maybe the title for this one, know your limits. Nah, I'll think of something different. Yeah, I'll just say get some good hobbies. All right? Get some hobbies that you could like know, because I know I think, oh yeah, or just first of all, step one, have a few things that you could kind of consider as a hobby first, right? And from there, right, depending on the person, right? If you're the type of person like, oh, I want to have a hobby that's cool, then you could kind of break it down from there. Like, okay, is this hobby universally considered cool? Like I had a friend who liked weirdly, once again, weirdly enough, I had two people I knew that one of them, or actually both of them, liked crocheting, but he's like, oh, maybe it's not really like a cool kind of hobby to have. I was like, you know what? I think maybe a long time ago, it might have been like, oh, you're not cool, or whatever, right? But I was like, you know what? It's useful. Like, as I was in the military, right? Like, there's not many people that could sew, right? And crocheting is like a form of sewing anyway. So it's like, no, that's a useful skill to have. I mean, me personally, like, I know how to do that a little bit. Like, I used to actually know how to use like a sewing machine because we actually had home ec and it was like really in depth. Hence, I used to have like, I don't have the recipe anymore, but I used to have my own recipe to make biscuits because as you probably have heard many times me ranting about it, I really like biscuits. I really like, I think Popeyes, I think I like their biscuits quite a bit. I like to put honey on it, and it's great. But, yeah. And that's one time when I asked this one dude, hey, would you get, I want like a 3-piece chicken, right? Because it was like a food run. 3-piece chicken with just honey, right? He's like, oh, okay. He brought me back like, it wasn't a 3-piece boneless chicken. It was like, I forgot what the hell he got me. And just mustard. It's like I think it was like 2 biscuits or 3 biscuits with mustard. I'm like, are you fucking? And remember, we gave him, everyone had to give him like money, and he went and got, so he used my money to give me something that I didn't want. Man, I was pretty pissed. I was like, that is, like, I get it if I wrote something crazy that you could misconstrue as something. How in the hell do you misconstrue this? Motherfucker, you can't read. He was the second guy who likes crocheting. But I didn't like this dude, so I thought he was just... I think he was just pretty much playing stupid just to piss people off, honestly. So yeah, to me, that's even, for me, worse. It's like, so you're just playing stupid just to be annoying. Okay. You know, piece of shit. Yeah. Sometimes talking about the boat does trigger me. It's like anyone who's always in the streams, like, oh yeah, every time he talks about like, it starts off all normal and cool. That's it. As more and more I talk about it, they just get a little bit more irritated each time. Yeah, so it just wasn't for me. Like, if I probably was a corpsman, I think I would have had a lot better of a time, because that's like a field of study within healthcare and stuff, which I do enjoy, and it would probably like, because I was doing healthcare stuff even when I was like, it wasn't even my main job. So there's a point in my time as a submariner that I was like working at the hospital so much to the point where like people thought I was a corpsman. So then like someone did get mad at me about something like, oh, why don't you know how to do this and this, whatever, this kind of thing, for like where I know is I didn't, like, I had some stuff I had to go like put it away, and the other corpsman that I was working with wasn't there. So I was like, I don't know where to fucking put this. Like, I don't know the rooms of the hospital, right? And I was getting like shit from this one dude, and it's like, why don't you know where this is at, right? And I was like, you're not, you say, you ain't new, you've been around here for like, he's like, I've seen you for like 4 months, you should know where this is at. I'm like, so after he was ranting, right, I'll let him finish. And by the way, if you're ever ranting like that to someone, like your subordinate or there's a coworker, and they're like, and he keeps on ranting, and you know, you kind of pause for a second. No, you can finish. If the person's like, no, either letting you finish, like looks calm and letting you finish, that means you fucked up. He's about to like, no, Uno reverse you, but either way, I let him finish. I'm like, you know what? It's kind of strange that you say that, because I don't even work here, man. He's like, what? Then after I told him, he's like, I'm so sorry, man. I thought you worked here. Like, you've been here for so long. I'm like, yeah, I understand how you were confused about that, because it does seem like I do work here, but I don't. And they're like, what in the hell? Then the officer came out where he's like, damn, like, since you're like pretty much had like such a good head on your shoulders, I thought you knew where all this stuff is at, because like, you're like my go-to guy. Like, I usually went to you. I told him, like, I thought that was funny, because I'm like, why is he asking me to do all this stuff? I don't even work here. Like, you're not even in my chain of command. So like, what? And then but it was like a kind of a funny thing. Like, I mean, there was that, and like this one other job I used to do, it was a job that I shouldn't have been doing. It's like for like higher officers that should have been doing it. And they're like, oh Lord, you're the one that been like, no, doing all this stuff the whole time? I was like, yes. Then they told me like, oh my God, we have to have you train someone because you're not supposed to be doing this. I'm like, eh. But yeah, and I remember this, so the main guy I trained, he was very nice, and he's like, oh, like, I didn't know either. I'm like, me too, we're both confused. He's like, okay, so I was training him, and there's like the second or third guy. He was acting like kind of like a dick, and I was like, okay, I mean, get trained horribly, right? Because the other two are trained, right? And they already trained them. And your boss told me to train you, so I'm just saying, man, like, your boss is 100% on, probably much on my side. If I just tell him some bad stuff about you, you're fucked. So, do what you want. And I don't think I ever taught that guy. Like, apparently he like, I said, probably like, yeah, so I only want other people to like, so either way, I let him do his own thing and crash and burn him by himself. Yeah, if people don't want help, just let them crash and burn on their own. Like, you don't have to be mean or anything to them. They generally do that on their own. And that's what was going. Some little nuggets from a old dude telling everyone like, hey, these are some methods that work. Depending on your job though, like certain jobs is a little bit different to do things like that. Like my #1 tip for a great job experience is just be likable. Does not matter how good or smart you are, right? If you're very likable, people are willing to teach you, right? And just have like kind of like one of those people with a good attitude and just likable, you could get away with a lot of stuff. I say this being the one doing that and also being the one receiving that, because some of the younger guys, they were just likable, but they were not good at their job. But they were so likable, I'm like, you know what? I'll turn a blind eye to some of this kind of goofiness because they're likable. So yeah, likability is key. And with that, which is a good note to end on. Likability is key. So don't forget to subscribe and also press that like button on YouTube. And is there one on Twitch? Yes, you could sign some stuff. This is good. Spread the word of the Noodle Nightmares. There. Yeah. So with that, everyone,
Bye-bye.
see you later. See you tomorrow for our next episode. And you guys hang in there. The week is almost over. Then it'll be the weekend. Then we'll party and you'll hear scary stories from me. You guys have a good one. Peace out.